this computer. Okay, welcome everybody to Confessions of a GroupX Instructor podcast. We have Ruben back with us. You're the first ever return guest that I've had.
Really? I thought you had another one for some
I
reason.
don't think so.
Trisha,
She's not returned.
Okay.
She's just done a solo.
Oh, love it.
Yeah. So he just got here and it was a 5-hour drive. We're in Eugene.
Middle of nowhere.
Oh, it's not the middle of nowhere.
Well, I come from Seattle, Washington, where there's like lots of things and and people, and I just get here and all I see is cows and manure and goats and farmers.
He's
and
like, I know you live in the middle of nowhere when I look out my hotel room and I see an Outback.
Yes. I do love a good Outback though.
It is a small town, but I don't know. There's like epic shit happening in this small little town.
Well, you're here, so it has to be epic shit.
This is where we do all of our warrior stuff. This is where we record everything. But anyway, so Ruben's here because I convinced him to take one of my trainings tomorrow. So in fact, I don't want to spill any beans too soon, but I'm actually wanting to help. I'm actually wanting to pick his brain because he's an expert when it comes to senior fitness, which you guys know if you listen to our last episode. And if you haven't, do listen to that one. It was amazing. It actually changed me. It actually made me better interviewing you. Did you see in my stories yesterday about my new formula for warrior strength?
Yes, I did.
Called a memory stack.
Yes, I did.
Literally because of you. And during my class, because there's people in my class that listen to my podcast, so they know you, And during my class, I was like, my podcast with Ruben inspired this formula. So with Warrior Strength, my functional training program, every single lesson for the weightlifting part has its own unique formula.
Beautiful.
Every single one. So that's lesson 19. There are 19 formulas and they're all kind of fun and engaging, or you have to keep track of this, or it's partners. They all have something special. But when I podcast with you, remember how I asked? I was like, do you mean you expect them to remember the moves and stuff? And so anyway, you're
being innovative. I think that's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's like when you interview people or when people you come across, you pick their brain, and then it just clicks sometimes, right? Because for me, I feel like I'm bringing a piece of you wherever I go now, and it's for just functionality, strength, and then you as an amazing leader as well too. So I think I really value mentorship and value friendship, and I think that's what we built.
Yeah, and you know what we are also have role modeled with one another is I look at you and I see opportunity for growth.
Yeah.
And obviously you the same, or you wouldn't be here. So
exactly.
back to that, with some of my programming, I really want to pick his brain so that we can continue to make it better and more accessible for seniors, more inclusive for an older population. So he's here. He just drove here. He keeps making fun of my little town, saying there's no Wi-Fi, and he might be right. We're on my hotspot right now.
Yeah, we are.
How do you like the hotel? Those of you that are watching on YouTube, we're in Ruben's room.
Yeah, hotel, very lavish, very chic.
It's a Marriott. It's just a tiny one. Calm down.
Sponsor us.
Don't worry, nothing's gonna happen here because spoiler, Ruben's gay.
Yeah.
Hence this episode.
And married.
This is June 1st, the day we are recording this episode, which is, the start of Pride Month. So
Pride Month.
So our episode, which is gonna be we have a dinner date.
We do.
So we can't talk to you forever. So we have to cram in all these things, but we're going to talk about what's pride got to do with it. So,
yeah, by the legendary Tina Turner,
Yeah.
Love it.
Do you love Tina Turner? I feel like gay men love strong women.
We do. We do love powerhouse, strong women.
What is that?
I think because we love the underdog, and not saying women are underdogs or anything. We just like strong, powerful confidence because that's what we go through. That's what we want. We want to be heard, and just like women or any minority wants to be heard or valued, and I believe strong women like that really set a tone for us. And like, for example, like my mother was a strong woman who has really influenced my life as well into the person I am today. So I really want to be here with the strong women around me.
Yeah, that's cool. We didn't talk about our nominations.
Oh, yes, our nominations.
We were both nominated for the upcoming Idea Awards.
Yes.
So we're pretty excited about that. Ruben was nominated last year.
I was with Siri and Colleen. So I was very fortunate to be nominated again with amazing peers out there as well. And you nominated too as well.
I know, I'm really excited.
Yes.
So I've applied for a few years. Like I've applied for the last couple of years, and I've been actually nominated, but not nominated to this in this sense that like we're in the final three. So Ruben and I have bonded even more since we did our podcast episode together. I don't think we knew that at the time.
No.
And so we've since gotten to know each other much better than like, I feel like I'm way closer to you now than when I interviewed you.
Exactly. We like call each other all the time. Ask you for help, ask you for insights and advice. So it's been great.
Yeah. We're trying to manifest some success with our awards, so we talk about that a lot.
Yeah, manifestation is important. I think even for me, you know, that's really important for me and what I'm doing, and especially my business that I'm doing.
Yeah, because that's the other thing is when we podcast, a perfect segue, because I was actually going to ask you to kind of like quickly bring everyone up to speed with like who you are and what you do. And actually when we podcasted, and that's like you were just making a pivot and like a rebrand with the evolution of your brand. So
for those of you who don't know me, my name is Ruben. I am a senior fitness specialist, and I specialize in special population with people, especially with Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease. So I manage WESLEY Senior Homes in Des Moines, Washington. I don't know, there's so many other Des Moines out there. But my brand is called Functionally Evolved. And the reason why for that is because we evolve as people, we evolve as individuals, and I see everyone that I come across, especially my senior population, evolving every single day. But with functionally, I wanted to make the capital FUN to make it fun. You know, exercise should be fun again. You know, always fun.
I know you don't know this, but I also talk about the fun factor in with Warrior Strength, the one that has all like the games and the formulas, like that's literally like something. So I'm telling you that, and I'm telling you guys this too, because if you come to one of my sessions and you hear me really talking about the fun factor, I just want you to know that I didn't steal it from you.
No, but I've actually been to your sessions before, and you do bring that, and every instructor brings some sort of fun into that. It's just we have to really express that to our participants.
Exactly. Say it. Like literally talk about it being fun.
Yeah, and because when you say it, this is going to be a fun class, then they know what is coming. You know, so.
And did you know that like if you smile, I say this to my classes, if you smile while you're working out, it actually forms like a happy association with working out.
It does. Like even no Botox needed.
Speak for yourself. I'm a fan of Botox. Okay, so let's dive in. So what is Pride? What is Pride Month? What does Pride mean to you?
Pride is very special to me. I really get emotional talking about this because, you know, I'm fortunate enough to have parents and family members who really supported me coming out. And I'm very fortunate to have parents who really support my endeavors and everything like that. And I've seen other people not be welcomed as much as I have.
Yeah, we didn't talk about your sexuality on the last show, but so thank you for being like open and vulnerable. And I think it's like courageous and inspiring. And so I really appreciate this from you. I also know that you're like someone of faith.
I am a man of faith.
So how did you come out? How old were you? Sorry, you didn't even know I was going to ask you this, but like, and how was that? Was that hard in terms of like religion and stuff like that? Or obviously your parents, you said, supported you. How old were you?
I was 18 when I came out, so right after college. as well. I am a man of faith. I went to Catholic school my whole life,
Yeah.
and you have different teachings, and growing up in that sense of like a really Christian Catholic household, we were taught many things of like heterosexuality and man and woman and everything too. And I feel like for me, I hate lying to myself. I hate lying about the people I was hanging out with.
Yeah.
I think I was very rebellious too because I was not myself
Oh.
in a way too, but also bullied at a very young age, bullied tremendously, like the underdog.
You were bullied because people knew you were gay?
I don't know if I would say they would knew I was gay, but I have different mannerisms.
Yeah.
My mannerisms, I have feminine qualities and masculine
Yeah.
qualities too.
Yeah.
When I'm with my friends, I'm Rubisha, I'm fabulous, I'm this. But at the end of the day, like I'm just stripped back to Ruben. I'm just very for me, I feel like I don't want to put masculinity or femininity into it. I'm just me, and I think our world is so cut up on what's masculine, what's feminine, why macho men can't show their feminine side because it shows a specific way of they don't want to be labeled as LGBTQAI plus. So
did you know you were gay? Like
I feel like I knew I was gay.
Like when you were like going through puberty and stuff, like when you were starting to be attracted to people, was it always men?
I believe so. I believe so. I think the curiosity was always there. I've dated women before as well. I've dated women, and women are beautiful and everything like that, but that I wasn't true to who I was. For at the end of the day, I could choose whoever I want to be with. I could be with a woman if I choose to. But that won't be me. That won't be my truth. And I hope my story shows people that what you could do things because even being gay, it's hard. It's hard even to talk about it. It's really hard because you don't know if you may rub someone the wrong way or you may get hate for it too. There's a lot of factors in there. And as much as I feel like we're one step closer to freedom and unity and everything, I feel like sometimes we're just taking a step back as well.
How do you think, like, how is it being queer and also male in our industry? And I say, and also male, just because I feel like it kind of puts you in two minorities for our industry, just because it's mostly like, look at, what conferences and in our classes and stuff like that. There's a lot of women in our industry, a lot, from the instructor to the participant. And I know that's maybe changing a little, I don't know, like, is it changing and how is it? Is it extra challenging? Is it?
I think it's different, honestly. It's different from clubs, it's different to organizations too. Like, are you in a conservative area? Are you not in a conservative area?
You're right. Geographically.
I'm in the West Coast, so
you're in Seattle.
I'm in Seattle, so it's like very open and everything. And then I used to
But if you're in the Bible Belt.
Correct. It may be difficult for someone to do that. Or, I was able to find formats that really supported my community, like Work Dance Fitness with Haley Struxness as the creator. I felt dance was an outway to really push myself in there.
Is Haley, the creator of Work, is she the one that I see in a lot of your videos? The brunette girl that you dance with a lot in a lot of your
no, that's Jenny.
Oh, okay,
that's Jenny.
Okay.
That's Jenny. She's my backup dancer.
Okay.
Shout out to Jenny.
Wait, show.
We should, Haley, if you're listening.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's in Kansas City.
Yeah, too. And then she can promote and talk about work to our instructor.
Work is so inclusive, and I think that she's giving me a platform to talk about things. I even have a pride class coming up for her, and she features me on things, and she gives me the opportunity to speak about my community and do choreography from LGBTQAI plus artists too. And I feel that was my outway to the fitness industry from there, and I was able to get different places and everything. But as we know, like in gym setting, it's very still, for my opinion, it's just only my opinion, it's still a macho man's world out there. I even feel like women get discriminated all the time too.
I think from an owner operator standpoint too, just like that's one thing about me on this podcast is I'm not gonna like I'm kind of unfiltered up. I'm just kind of like being honest with you all who are listening. Like I go to Ursa every year, or I have the last few years, I should say, and it's like a sea of men. Like from the owner operator manager standpoint, there's a lot of older white men. And so it's interesting.
I don't, but for me too, I don't really see a lot of LGBTQ AI plus queer instructors really honing into a lot of things. You know, not even me, I would say, and for me as a support system too, like it's because social media is so mean out there with stuff too. And not saying that we're not going to get haters, because we hit haters all the time, but it's like I already fought to come out. I don't want to be doing that all the time and speaking my truth, which I have no trouble with, but at the same time it's like never ending stories.
Do you get hate? Like,
oh yeah.
I do too. And I'm not like comparing myself at all for what you're saying. Like I'm not equating at all like the hate I get, but I get hate for my bodysuit tattoo. Like the meanest, and I mean, you can see some of it. Like you can see some of it in some of my videos. If you see a video of me where there's more of my skin showing, you can pretty much bet that there's gonna be some comment underneath it from some troll saying how disgusting I look in some way. I mean, sometimes it's more vulgar than that. And it is, honestly, like it is hurtful. Sometimes I delete those comments. Sometimes I just don't, but anyway, yeah, so
it's hard. It's very hard, because it's like sometimes I want to post my truth, but then I get so scared, and I shouldn't be that way.
We shouldn't. It's weird because you and I are super confident.
Yes.
We love and accept who we are. I'm proud to show how I am different and the way I'm proud to be me. But it does affect me. Like I wish I could say that it doesn't matter at all, but it does affect me. Every time I read something horrible about myself, it makes my stomach hurt, it makes me like want to cry.
Me too.
Even if I know it's just like a bot, like a troll account with no profile picture and some weird, I just don't understand why people are so mean. How it's that side of humanity is the darkness, and we're so lucky, and our listeners and you are so lucky that we, for the most part, like, because we get to be in fitness, we get to be in the happy part. My kids' dad, Ruben, didn't know that I had kids or anything like that because I don't really post much about family. But my kid's dad was my ex-husband was a police officer, and like every single day he had to deal with like the like shit of humanity, like the horrible things and terrifying situations and like just the depravity of the world we live in. And so it clouds and it jades him and makes him sort of cynical, and he just sees the darker side of things. Whereas all of us, you, Ruben, me, we get to be people's happy part of the day. Like we get to basically bask in endorphins. And
we do, but I must say we're not everyone's cup of tea.
No.
At the end of the day, we're not everyone's cup of tea.
No.
Because I may look masculine and everything too, but then all of a sudden I speak or someone, and then some people will just walk out the door.
Are you kidding?
Oh yeah, all the time. And I have to make it known it's not about me.
Oh.
I have to just say it's not about me.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, of course.
That is so painful.
I've learned to accept it though, because I'm there to give people an experience.
Yeah.
And I can't let them experience just working out without having them experience me as an instructor.
Yeah.
Because I will give you 100% no matter who you are. And I'm always going to treat people with kindness at the end of the day.
Have you found that, like, as you have developed your brand and, you know, gotten nominated for these big awards and like done big things, have you found that that has increased like the haters in your life?
I think the more
It's more
the forum
exposure.
and the
Yeah.
exposure you get, the more
Yeah.
you're going to get from
Yeah.
haters or anyone, or jealousy from people. But at the end of the day, I'm doing what's right for me. I'm doing what's right for the participants out
Yeah.
there. And I want to be a shining light to my community,
Yeah.
you know, as much as I can.
Yeah.
You know, my community has fought hard
Yeah.
and we keep on fighting.
Okay, wait, before, because I actually want to talk about your community when I sort of wrap the episode up, but before we do, because we have a dinner date, I wanted to know like, what are some ways that you make your classes more like inclusive
Mhm.
for queer, for just
For people,
for
yeah.
people?
Well, I do a lot of charity work,
Okay.
a lot of charity events too. So I do charity events for youth care in Washington, which gives back to our youth, homeless youth out there
Oh,
as well.
really?
Yeah, we do that a lot. Seattle Dance Fitness and we do a lot of things for that. Work Dance Fitness, we do local charity works as well. Even in my senior classes, like we have ways that we could really donate to causes like the Trevor Project and everything like that to make sure of awareness. But also, we also have pride walks at my community as well.
Oh,
So
really?
everyone will dress up or have their pride flags.
Like rainbow dress
Of
up?
course, of course. We've had drag bingo before, and just a little bit of awareness of what the culture is too on that. Also, learning about pronouns is very new in our generation now too, and making it inclusive. So, I used to say you guys a lot, you know, and I've learned that, you know, with inclusivity, it's for all. So now when in front of my class, I go, hey y'all, like
Hey, y'all.
y'all. People think I'm from Texas or something like that, but and they said, why do you say y'all? And I said, because that's what I was taught to say instead of anything else, you know. It's being very inviting, showing people this is a safe space and telling them this is a safe space to be yourself, you know, because you never know what that person is going through. You never know if that person came to your class for answers or just an experience. You know, so I make sure that they understand that I am here for them no matter what sexuality you are and everything, and to give them a piece of my culture too as well. I always have a fabulous song by a queer artist all the time too, you know.
That's such a good idea. I had not thought about that.
Yeah, always.
Such a great idea.
Always.
Okay, so that's a great takeaway for our audience too, is to include like music that by your artists. So back to your community, because we've got to wrap. What message along this theme of like, what's pride got to do with it? Like, what message do you have for your community about this topic?
I want my community to know that you're strong, you're powerful, even though, oh, I'm gonna get emotional because it's so hard. We're so vulnerable at the end of the day, but keep fighting for the rights, keep fighting for people to understand you, you know, even though we don't need to be understood all the time. Just know that you have other people out there rooting for you. There is love and compassion in a lot of people out there. And if we share our story and if we share who we are as people, I believe that people will come around and this world can become a better place as well, you know, especially like my gay icons, you know. Oh, woo, my gay icons.
Okay.
Well, I have like, I wouldn't say just gay icons specifically, but I have, you know, for dancing, Britney Spears has always been my influence.
Oh God,
like
she's just.
Britney has
Yeah, you told me that in our last episode.
Britney has been everything to me. Like she's still stronger here. Okay. Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, the Celine Dion's, the Tina Turners out there, RuPaul, and all the girls from Drag Race. And then like you have Richard Simmons out there. People like to call me the new Richard Simmons, honestly.
I believe it.
But without the hair, please. And then Sean T as another one. Sean T is one of my other idols out there as well. But you know, we need strong people out there to really have influence, and I hope I could be that for some people out there.
Yeah, we definitely are. Okay, remind everybody how they can follow you and find you.
Yes, you could follow me at Functionally Evolved at that's my Instagram handle right now, and then websites and all that stuff. TBA to be to be announced.
All right.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for coming on, and thank you everybody. Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride, everybody.
Okay, bye.
Bye.